and it was really fun, but like kind of hardcore BDSM or BDSM scenes, that are things I really only do with guys I knew.
Padi, bueno, comenzamos con iniciar sobre los inicios de tu carrera como actriz de cine para adultos. Me gustaría saber cuál es la experiencia que has adquirido, esa característica que se ha identificado la industria en Alemania a la estadounidense. ¿Has visto de pronto las cualidades, cuáles son? Y también que nos cuentes si has intervenido en el mercado latinoamericano.
Okay, we are going to talk about the beginnings of your career, going back to Europe, to Germany. Can you tell us, I don't know, the difference that you can see from both industries, the European industry and the American industry? And can you tell us if you worked here in Latin America?
So that's correct. I started my career back in Germany. And at first, for sure, only Germany because I'm German. And it was at the beginning, it's a long time that I had my first shoot in Germany. So I think it's around about 13, 14 years ago. So a long time. And to be honest, it was similar to here right now. So we had the same. We had makeup artists, we had a sound guy, we had like camera guys, people who were preparing the lights and everything. So kind of the same. After a while, I would say like 8 years ago or something, the whole industry in Germany went down because I think in Germany it was they were the major people to doing porn. And even if you talk to people here and they were like, oh, you're German, oh, you're such a slut or whatever. So they have this special feeling about German porn, which is really dirty, like a lot of dirty talk and all the stuff. So the problem for the Germans was that they never changed the language. So back in the days, maybe you remember, it was expensive. There was no internet. There was no streaming. There was like nothing. We had a VJS recorder and we had this old cassette. And those cassettes were also like really expensive. So we had all these different um, stores where you can rent your cassette and everything. So I think Germany was one of the major companies and major countries for porn at this point. But then everything changed. So the internet was there, and all the companies in Germany, they were so old. I mean, old in like business wise old, and so old school that I even can remember. I worked for a company which was really, really successful back in the days. The name of the company was Videorama, major company in Germany. And I remember I talked to the owner of the company and I was like, hey, the internet is still there and you producing DVDs. You have to find a solution to go like into streaming or downloading things. But you know what? If you have like old people running a company and they got the golden years, he didn't saw any reason to change it. And he was like, oh no, people are still buying DVDs. I was like, oh no, they don't want to buy it anymore. So that was a point that the whole porn industry in Germany went down because the big players in Germany, the German companies, still believed in DVDs and don't make nothing for streaming wise or whatever. So that was a point when the whole porn industry went down really, really hard in Germany. And then everything went to amateur stuff. And to be honest, for each single year or like each single 5 years or whatever, the tools get cheaper. So back in the days, like 15, 20 years ago, a camera was really expensive to buy it and to record it and to edit it and all the stuff. Right now, what do you need? A cell phone. That's all. So that also changed a lot because people who were shooting before for the big players, for the companies, they were like, oh, I can do my own stuff. And there are so many platforms around. I will upload my own stuff and earn like directly the money and not get a one time payment. And that's all. So that was a big change. And I think that was the end of the big porn thing in Germany. Here in the US, they were so much smarter because they figured out, hey, there's the internet, we have to do something. So everything here for the US, and also it was a problem because of the language. Because in Germany, everybody spoke only German, and nobody was speaking English. And I think English is the main speaking language, so everybody can understand it. So that is the reason why the porn industry in, I would say, especially in LA, is still huge and big. And they made it happen that each single website, each single company have a website and people can watch it from all over the world. And that was one part the German companies definitely missed. But in production wise, again, back in the days, it was absolutely the same. So we had the whole team like here. Still, it's the same. You have like makeup artist, sound guy, blah, 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 like the whole setting. So actually, back in the days, same. Right now, so different.
Listening that you say, do you think that the perception that the public, the American public, got from the not only the German, the European industry back in the days, like oh, the dirtiest, the roguest, the artistic, comes from I don't know the cinema, the artistic cinema that we watched before, like I know he's Italian, like Tinto Brass, that everything that has sell, or it had something to do with another thing that, oh, the dirty stuff.
I think the crazy shit is every time from Europe. I don't know why, but it is really like this. I can't explain it. I mean, even I love to shoot anal. So I was thinking when I went here, okay, perfect. Let's do a couple of great anal scenes because here in the United States, you're great actors. And the funny thing is, the most successful actors in porn, like male actors, they are European. So that's funny. That's the first thing. And the other thing is they shoot such a crazy stuff. They don't shoot it here in LA. Let's say there's a company. I would say it. Maybe you have to edit it out. I don't know what is allowed, what not allowed. So there's a company based in Czech Republic. It calls legal porn. So legal porn is really, really well known for the craziest shit ever. So they doing like double anal. They doing gangbangs with double anal. They doing still the interracial stuff, like one white girl and like 10 black dudes around. So they still keep doing it. I think, and that's still like if you believe it or not, that's still a huge market. And that's the only company who's shooting double anal. And I didn't get it. And I love to shoot for them. I did like a couple of shoots every time when I'm back in Europe. They were like, oh, please tell me when you're back. We want to shoot with you. So that's fun. But to be honest, I don't know why it is like this. I think here are also like rough scenes for sure, and it depends on the company. Like if you're shooting for King, it's more rough. If you're shooting for Girls Way or whatever, because that's more like the vanilla style. But still, the European porn is much more dirty than the US porn, I would like to say. Again, there are like companies around there similar to European porn, but also like they're mostly based in Europe. Like King has a huge fan base and huge producers also like in Europe. Same for Evil Angel. There are so many productions. They are shooting this stuff like in Europe. So I don't know why it is like this. I didn't know if people are scared here. I didn't know if like girls are more like, oh no, we are out of this crazy shit. We don't do this. I have no idea. But to be honest, I love it.
No, I will let John do a question. Oh, I love this answer because, as you may know, in this channel we had interview before to Eric Ederhard and to Rocco, but we got the lot to interview Veronica Leal. She's from our city. She's from Cucuta, and it's crazy because I had watched that. In fact, I don't like the male actors. But okay, I'm straight, okay, but I don't like to watch the male actors from the US. I prefer the European or call me crazy, mostly the Latinos, because I had watched that in Latin America they're more amateur, but in the industry like in Brazil they love the anal stuff. And Veronica, the Colombian, she triumphed because she had to fly to Europe to do really hard stuff because we're here very vanilla, and she's born, and she's an amazing woman and really intelligent woman like yourself, like person. I feel blessed to talk to you, and I will let say, and of course, Evil Angel is one of my favorite companies, but I will tell John that the next question. John, le tenía que decir, ¿no? Que, bueno, primero, después yo te traduzco, que yo siento que yo le pregunté que si la percepción que se tenía, después digo la respuesta, que se tenía del cine europeo fuerte se debe al cine arte, dice que no. Yo después estoy la respuesta. Dije que siento que es más interesante lo que hacen pues nuestros héroes, ¿no? Eric, Rocco, que lo que hacen los latinos, pero distinto, pero me parece más interesante lo que está haciendo Latinoamérica en Brasil y que siento que pues nuestra diosa, Verónica, viajó a Europa porque acá no se maneja ese nivel de profesionalismo que se maneja allá. Bueno, continúa, yo después te traduzco.
Pedi, o sea, tú puedes mencionar compañías, nosotros te damos esa libertad totalmente, porque ahí se viene mi pregunta y es, yo sé que en el 2018 entraste en el mercado americano con Fucking Hollywood, o sea, Carmen Caliente, Listen Sweet, El Marinero, entonces quería saber cuál de estas compañías, bueno, yo sé que la realizaste, cómo fue esa experiencia, cómo recrear esos personajes que toda la industria crea, cómo fue trabajar con todos esos personajes y también si harías otra película como para decir algo de un tema que no se ha visto, que no se ha tocado en la industria, ¿cuál sería y con cuál industria?
Y es una buena pregunta porque lo que ella respondió dice que ya ha entrado en producción. Okay, John has said that you can feel free to talk about companies, everything, because the great thing about this channel is the freedom. And John got a question because he remembered that he left. Okay, John, 2008, ¿cierto?
2018.
In the 2018, you were in the movie Fucking Hollywood, back in the US. And you can forgive me if I pronounce it wrong, the title. John wants to know first, okay, John, que si ella volvería a hacer algo así.
Sí, y también cómo recrearía como un tema y como que no se ha visto.
Okay, the two questions are, will you repeat a production like that with all these characters and all these team, and knowing that you had also produced, what will be the subject that you really want to deal directing a movie that hasn't been made, at least in your career?
So the fact in Hollywood, we did it. That's true. That's also like a long time ago right now. So we did it because I was thinking I was running a show in Germany for a German, also like porn site, but they have a TV channel. And the TV channel is called Beate Use. It's a really famous, they have also like shops and everything, but they're also doing porn. So I was under contract with them. And so all the ideas I had was like, okay, we need a new production. What are you thinking? What can we do? So I was every time the host. I was the person who find people on the street, pick them up, and they fuck together and all the stuff. And I figured out after a while that that's not a thing here. Like in the US, nobody is doing it, and I don't know why. Because to be honest, it has to look real, and some of the people were real. So when we like, especially in this movie, like Fucked in Hollywood, when we like sneak out of the limousine and talk to random guys on the street, they were real. So, but at the end, yeah, and it was kind of good and scary at the same time because you never know what happened. Like there, it could be that someone, and we had some of them in the movie. They said like, "Oh yeah, let me join you," and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's actually not possible." So we need someone who says no. I don't want to do this because, and here's the point. I mean, it's right now maybe like a little bit destroying all the fantasies, but for sure, the people where we're fucking with, they need testing. So for sure, the people who we catched on the street and who we fucked, they were tested before, and it was pretty clear that this is a talent, and we will pick him up. He will say yes, and we will fuck him in the limousine. So that was the thing. But I think the thrill for the people is to see reactions from real people on the street. How do they react? Do they say, "Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Don't talk to me. Why do you ask me like this?" Or do they, "Oh, yeah, I see you girls. I'm definitely down for this." You never know what happened. So that's a dynamic which I really like. But I also figured out I did one scene with Lissy Sweet, and one scene was, oh, I think it was Carmen Caliente and someone else. I don't know exactly. Oh, Jesus, it's a couple of years ago. So, anyways, both of them, they're really, really good. Like they're, I don't want to say harsh people, but they are like, if you talk to them, they were like straightforward. But when we're sitting in the limousine, they were like, "You can't ask them, Patty. Don't ask him. Don't ask him. Maybe he's married or whatever." So I don't fucking care, because the worst scenario which could happen is that he get pissed. So we're just driving through him. So that's the worst scenario could happen. And we also couldn't release at this point this material. So we are good to go. So I remember Carmen was really, really shy. And usually she's not shy at all. Absolutely. But she was like, "Oh, that's like, you earn a lot of respect from me. Like I'm really freaked out right now to do this." I was like, "Okay, let's go through this." So that was the thing I did, because I think people still like it, because they have still in their mind, "Ooh, the next time I could be the person on the streets who she's talking to." So that's the point. Um, so we did this, and that was fun, and I still want to do kind of a new version, because I love those pickups and like interacting with strangers which don't know what happened. So I really like this. But for my new project, everyone is like, everything was there in the whole porn industry. So you can't invent something new, because to be honest, we had almost everything. But I think like there are only like a couple of things. Um, Nobody did it before. And one of the reasons is mostly because of contracts and permissions and da da da, all this stuff. And the other one is expensive. So these are the two most reasons why some things were never in porn there yet. So Patrick and I, we had a pretty cool idea, and I think we will. Patrick is my husband, by the way. Sorry. Patrick and I, we had a pretty cool idea, and we will release the whole thing, I think, in January. And the name of it has something to do. I don't want to tell you like the whole story, but like, yeah, has something to do with airplanes.
Wow.
Don't worry. Only the three of us will know. And I want to tell you something. It's great what you tell us, because in Latin America there was some controversy because they try to replicate that thing of picking up people, strangers. But I remember in the documentary after part ends that the famous case of the actor that got a disease in Brazil because there are no laws. They are, in fact, in Latin America, they use a lot of preservatives, of condoms, because there are no tests. They think that the amateur stuff is, oh yes, improvising, and no, that's not the case. So it's really listening the professionalism of what you did here, and and it's crazy to listen that fear of people, because in my case, okay, maybe I will say, oh, I want to be picked up in the street, but if the situation gets, I don't know if I be scared, but I hope I can be picked up in the street, no? By a
Then
sensitive people.
we had people on the street. There was like one guy, I remember him so hard because it was like, how long does it take? And I was like, and he was really a stranger. And I was like, I don't know, maybe like an hour, hour and a half, because I want that he says no. And he was like, oh, that match. I have like 2 hours lunch break. And I was like, oh no, fuck. I was like, yeah. To be honest, we have to do a cut right now because, like, you have to say no. And he was like, why? You asked me. I was like, I know, but, like, you're supposed to say no. And then I explained him as well. Listen, all of us need a test and da-da-da.
Mhm.
So it's not possible, but we need, like, some strangers to say no. And he was like, I would be down for it. I was like, okay, see, if you do a test, yeah, and you go through the whole process with the
Uh-huh.
testing and everything, we can talk for the next time. But it's every time the same because, and I got it, it's still porn, and people, I think it's a thing, they don't really think about it. They're like, oh, let's do this, but there's a lot behind, like if you have family or whatever, like live, I don't know, there are so many things, so you really have to take care of it if people really want to do this. So I know it destroys a little bit the fantasy, but yeah, at the end of the time, it's sad, but it is what it is. I would never shoot with someone like stranger who said like right away, yes, I will do this, because you never know what's behind, what's the story behind. And I think the worst thing is really to shoot someone because he gets the thrill in himself, and then after, I don't know, a couple of weeks when it get released or whatever, and like his boss, his family or whatever sees it destroys like a completely life. So for me, it's every time like, okay, you know what, if you really want to do this, go through the whole process. I give you my number, you can get back to me. And I would like to say 90.9% never get back to me. Which is good at this point.
Yes, it's very good. Ok, John, ¿tienes otra pregunta?
Sí, de hecho, hay una duda que tengo sobre lo que son los premios que ha obtenido. Bueno, ahí en lo que vemos en la IFL, la database de las estrellas para la
Ujú.
industria, 12 premios importantes, pero sabemos de que la trayectoria es mucho más. Y lo que me queda por como en saber es de todos los temas a tratar, de las historias, de los guionistas, de todo, ¿cuál es de pronto ese concepto que de pronto te hace falta por desarrollar? Una historia de un tema que deseas y que aún no se ha hecho no por temor a los fans ni a la industria, sino porque tal vez sea complicada en las cuestiones
Mm.
de la química. ¿Cómo es esa evolución y con quiénes te gustaría?
Y es bueno que preguntes eso porque pues, en la anterior respuesta reveló lo que ella va a hacer en cuestión de cine, pero no en cuestión de género. Ok. Ok. Looking at your awards, your recognitions, John wants to know, with all your experience, no, we are not going to talk about what movie you will do next, what project, but mostly what genre or what on style, you feel that, oh, I will only do this if I feel the chemistry or with my partner. Because, like an example, Esperanza Gomez, that is the greatest, the most famous in Colombia, and Francesca, of course. Esperanza did the anal porn. She did it this year, saying no to a lot of people. So because she feel that, oh, I got a husband and it's a struggle. Okay, what will be the genre, the style that you say, I will only do it, I have to do it, I will only do it if I feel the chemistry, or you have to do everything?
To be honest, that's a hard question.
Yes.
So, at first, I have to tell you, usually when I shoot, the guys, they're like all professional. And to be honest, it is easier to shoot with someone you know as with someone you don't know who is a stranger, and you see on set the first time, you introduce yourself the first time, and then you have to build up a chemistry really, really quick. But that's also like we are performers. So that's a part of the job, I think. For me personally, and that's funny because it's only a couple of days ago, I did a scene for Kink. And I don't know who knows the kink uh, stuff. So kink.com is really, really kinky. So usually it's a lot of BDMS. It's really, really hardcore. But I'm not this person. So, and I'm also not like a domina or whatever. I know I have black hair, but that's all, like, yeah, exactly. So, during the pandemic, I did a girl scene for them because for sure all the companies were running out of content, and we did a lot of quarantine shoots. At this point, I was living with another girl together, in a roommate situation, and she's also in the porn industry, so it was pretty easy for us to shoot. So we were, because we were in one household. So we did for King kind of a vanilla BDSM scene. It was really a vanilla. It was not really hardcore, like with crazy slapping or whatever. But the people loved it. Because I think they're like two different. Like they're like the really hardcore guys, and they're like the hardcore guys was like, oh yeah, I love that she is like slapping the ass during she get fucked with a strap on or whatever. So it's like two different parts of kink. And I told her, listen, I'm not the dom and I'm not the sub, not the typical, and the other girl, same like me. So we have to figure something out. And it worked really good. So we did another scene, also like strap on, anal, and everything, which was great. And then she asked us, okay, it was still COVID, like nobody was shooting and all this stuff. So it was still there. And she was like, what about, like, I need a boy girl scene. Are you down for shooting a really rough boy girl scene with your husband? And I was like, yeah, let's do this. So we set everything up on a tripod, different angles, like with GoPros and everything in our home, actually here in this bedroom. So we did it. And it's not like, Kink is really, really strict with it. They tell you what they want to have, but if you don't feel comfy, you don't have to do this. And I told her, listen, you know what, like choking and all this stuff, it's my husband. He knows me for 16 years. Like, I trust him. That's not a big thing. So, yeah, we will figure something out. So we did the scene, and the scene was really, really rough. Like, Patrick was spitting in my fucking face, and I had such a pretty makeup and everything. But it was, at the other hand, it was really, really fun because that's not the usual style Patrick and I have sex. I mean, we don't have a lot of sex, but like that was really, really rough, and I had like my eyes closed the whole time, and I only could feel him and smell, and so it was kind of a weird situation. but I really liked it because I trust him. And like, especially in the BDSM thing, you have to trust people because there's, like there's the border. And at one point, when someone is choking you, you can't tell them, no, enough, because you can't breathe and you can't tell nothing. So that's kind of a big issue. And so I did the scene with Patrick for sure because I trust him to 100%. And then she was asking me and was like, I love this scene and I want those kind of scenes again, but with another guy. And at this point, I never do it. Like if someone like requests me for an anal scene, boy girl scene, group scene, whatever, I never ask who is the talent. But at this point, I was like, who's the talent? And she was like, it's Tommy Pistol. So I knew Tommy forever, and we shot so much stuff together. And he is, I would like to say, adult enough for those kind of playgrounds because he have the sensibility to figure out okay when it's enough, when it's not enough, and like he listened to body language and not only to speaking language. So I did the thing with him, and it was really really rough. It was really rough. And like there were like parts in between. I was like, oh my goodness, did he really do this right now? And like at one point, like he was slapping into my face, and my face was like, do you really did this right now? But it was more fun. So I think the whole scene looked really, really rough. But at the end of the story, I have to tell you, I think I never saw like because we just did it. It was fun, and we all were happy after this. We were eating our sandwich after this and talked to each other, and it was really fun. But like kind of hardcore BDSM or BDSM scenes, that are things I really only do with guys I knew and who are like familiar with.
No, we
Oh,
got to cut you
Pedi,
because
Pedi.
yes, yes. Sadly, the time is running off. I had to tell you this before we end this. I am a you call me crazy. In the BDSM stuff, I'm more the vanilla. In fact, I like my movies when the girl is I don't know is petted is how could you call it in English? Acariciar is love it. No, I know it's acting, but it's crazy because I love what in Europe did the actresses that do hardcore porn and sometimes they do softcore and it's beautiful because it's like a very beautiful acted and I don't know. I got to tell you that you we thank you in the name of the channel. You are a very smart and sweet person. Really, thank you for giving us this interview. And please, you got the camera. Say something hi to Colombia, to the people that's watching. Tell us your social media. Go ahead.
Okay, hello guys, and many greetings to all my fans in Colombia. I'm so sorry, I only speak German and English. I don't speak your language, but I think like to watch porn, you don't need a language, you only have to watch it. Everything explains for itself. So, if you want to follow me also like on my normal stuff, let's
Yes.
say Twitter, Instagram, on my OnlyFans or whatever, it's pretty easy. I have a link tree and you can find all my links and my Instagram page and also my Twitter page is the same. It's Texas Patti. It's one word on Instagram with a blue market, and on Twitter it's Texas_Patti, also with a blue market. And if you got both of those sites, you every time know what I'm doing.
Para mí es un placer, es un honor. La verdad te felicito por las premiaciones de anoche, por los SBIs. Wow, estuviste increíble, fantástico. Vi las publicaciones que hizo Patri. Le agradezco a Patri. Gracias, Patri. Y no, Pedi, la verdad eres hermosísima. Muchas gracias.
For the final words, John has said that yes, you're hermosa, beautiful. That we congratulate you because we saw the awards the last night. We saw the pictures.
Oh,
We
really?
got to yes, of course, and we got to thank of course Patrick for playing. Gracias, Patrick. And no, you are very beautiful. We got all the Latin words to tell you beautiful things. Bonita, hermosa, bella.
Yeah, I see that every time on my Instagram that everybody is calling me like bonita, and I was like, whatever that is, thank you.
Oh, bonita is pretty, pretty.
Okay, okay, got it. So I learned something right now.
Yes. John, ¿algo más? El salud.
Yo sé que en alemán es Gurdation.
Yes.
Gurdation.
What?
Entonces,
What did we say beautiful in German? How did we
Wunderhübsch.
Good.
oh, oh, sí. Clases con Peiri. No, y por
Yeah.
último, un saludo a Mario Corredor, que es
Yes.
fan.
This is a favor. Please, you want it? Say hi to Mario. Mario is a fan of yours. Mario Corredor. Mario. Hi to Mario, please.
Hey Mario, thank you so much for watching me, and thank you so much that you're a fan of mine. You made my day. Mwah.
I envy Mario now. Mario, you're a lucky guy.
Eddie,
Okay.
muchas gracias por la oportunidad. Ha sido un honor y bueno, mucho éxito.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
It has been really an honor and a lot of success. Mucho éxito.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.